Hello and welcome to Start Collecting Adeptus Custodes Part 2 Shield Hosts. This video is structured by Shield Hosts to give a quick flavour of their lore and then review their Warlord trait Relic and Stratagem, culminating in a power ranking of the Shield Hosts. As ever, if you like what you see and you want to see more of it, please subscribe, like and leave a comment below. So without further ado, let us begin. The Solar Watch. They are the first line of defense for the Imperial Palace, keeping guard over the outer bastions of the Throne World. They view the Sol System, its star systems and space lanes as an extension of their master's palace and ensure it is guarded appropriately. To this end, they utilize primarily mechanized forces to prioritize rapid responses to emergent threats. Their Warlord trait is called Sally Forth, which allows you to add 1 inch to the movement of all friendly units within 6 inches, and units that have advance can shoot with rapid fire weapons, but at -1 to hit whilst within 6 inches of the Warlord. This is a very interesting Warlord trait and works very nicely with Virtus Praetors and Bike Captains, because unlike similar effects, it allows the weapons to retain rapid fire, which is great, and it means you fully advance and shoot twice. This makes it almost impossible for enemies to avoid rapid fire range. The downside though is that by advancing, the units are prevented from using their normal stratagem superior fire patterns. But the trade-off when using Hurricane Bolters is increasing the rapid fire threat range from 26 inches to 33 inches. You can then pair this with Bloodgame Veteran stratagem to offset any loss in damage due to the -1 to hit. Their relic, the Swift Silver Talon, is interesting, as it's a souped up Guardian Spear that allows you to shoot and charge in a turn when you've advanced or fallen back. This is honestly an intriguing relic and could see play on a Vexillus that wants to extricate itself from combat or keep up with the boys. Honestly though, it's mediocre when compared to other relics Custodes have, and can't hope to match the utility, survivability or damage other relics provide. Their stratagem, the Eagle Strike, is absolutely situational, however is hilarious, as it causes extra CP usage from your opponent on their next stratagem. When you kill a character, it's 0 CP2 and it's a solid denial stratagem for your arsenal. In summary, the Solar Watch offers its users good board control, a solid Warlord trait, albeit mediocre in situational relics and stratagem. Its value comes on smaller boards and highly mobile forces. The Shadowkeepers, the Emperor's jailers, the warders of the dark cells. Deep within the Imperial Palace, the last terrors of old night and terrible remnants from the Age of Strife are held behind runic portals, warded and bound with Santic circles. A full shield host is dedicated to this great responsibility, for mankind cannot survive if they are unleashed unto the universe anew. Their Warlord trait makes your commander the master of the Shadowkeepers himself, the Lock Warden, and makes enemy characters -1 to hit him, and they also have -1 to their save, including invulnerables. This trait, while situational, is superior to its peer Radiant Mantle due to the additional -1 to the enemy character save. This makes your Warlord into even more of a character hunter and a bit more survivable too. I would recommend using this on a shield captain on a bike or in Alaris armor due to their ability to get close into enemy characters. The relic Stasis Oubliette is unsurprisingly anti-character and situational. It halves the enemy character attacks whilst within 3 inches and gives Shadowkeeper models the ability to reroll 1s. This is a rare source of reroll 1s on wounding in the Adeptus Custodes, however this relic combined with the Lock Warden is absolute overkill for anything less than a Primarch or a Knight character. The stratagem Grim Responsibility is quite interesting as it reduces 1 from the strength of attacks against a targeted unit. This isn't too exciting for your infantry, but for your vehicles and dreadnoughts that are toughness 7 or 8, this is a great defensive stratagem, as that strength reduction actually changes the maths quite a bit, causing fewer wounds. On the whole, the Shadowkeeper's shield host offers you a mix of character hunting and an additional defensive buff, and is one that should be heavily considered when making your army. The Aquilon Shields. They are the Gilded Guardians dispatched by the Doomscries of the Imperial Palace to protect martial or spiritual individuals who by example, thought or deed will prevent catastrophes that can threaten the Golden Throne itself. Their Warlord trait Revered Companion halves any damage against the Warlord. This is strictly worse than Supreme Creation or Radiant Mantle though. The trait could see value however if the meta changes to include high damage weaponry. Their relic Praesidius is an upgraded Storm Shield that subtracts 1 from the wound roll. It is restricted to foot-slogging characters though. Despite this, it turns your character into an obsec monster, making him an immovable object when paired with Supreme Creation or Indomitable Constitution along with Victor of the Blood games. Their stratagem, Shield of Honor, allows you to redirect attacks from an Imperium character within 3 inches to a nearby Custodes infantry or dreadnought. Whilst good if you need to protect a fellow character, it's less fun than it used to be when you could previously bodyguard a knight pre-FAQ. On the whole, it's situational and army build dependent, probably best in Imperium soup armies. On the whole, it's a quite fun shield host from a lore perspective. On the tabletop, you are likely to take the relic and nothing else from this shield host though. Make no mistake, the Praesidius is the best Custodes defensive relic, and in smaller games will turn your warlord into a nigh unkillable opponent which takes fire away from the rest of your army. Dread Hosts, the instrument of the Emperor's wrath. They are the deliverers of the Emperor's judgment, his anger and his punishment made manifest. They identify the most visible threats to Segmentum Solar and unleash upon them such overwhelming annihilation, the warp itself feels the shockwaves, ending hundreds of threats before they even begin. Their warlord trait has an epic name, All-Seeing Annihilator. Friendly units within 6 inches whilst using melee weapons get extra hits on enemies for unmodified rolls of a 6. This is a good trait and a better version of Peerless Warrior. If you want to sacrifice survivability or utility traits for pure offense, this is what you take. Their relic is the Admoni Mortis, a Castellan axe on steroids essentially, with AP -3 and damage 3. It turns your shield captain into an elite blender, as it's essentially a better Thunderhammer. Taking this though does sacrifice some survivability, as you will not be able to get a 3++ from your relic. Finally, the stratagem called Golden Light of the Moirades. Not to hype this up too much, but this is the reason you take the shield host. It allows you to select up to 3 units that teleported in that turn to roll 3d6 and discard one of them while charging. This stratagem is what you build your entire army around. It is one of the most effective delivery systems currently in the game and can break the back of the opponent immediately by taking out their key units. It allows you to execute one of the more effective anti-knight strategies the army possesses, sending your Achilles Dreadnought or Aquilans straight into combat 70% of the time with a knight. In summary, this shield host must always be considered first when debating what to take. The combos it enables aren't crazy, but the delivery system it provides is one of the best in 40k. You will need to build your army around this though, normally with a big bomb of 10 Alarus or 2 Aquilin squads plus a Dreadnought or Shield Captain. Emissaries Imperatus. They are the heralds of the Golden Throne. They hear the Master of Mankind's voice during their meditations and feel his hand guiding them. These are not viewed as divine acts though, for to the Custodes the Emperor is not a god. They see it as merely his will reaching out to direct them as it once did when he strode to war alongside them. They carry the Emperor's words and guidance across the Imperium. Their warlord trait is called Voice of the Emperor. It allows units within 9 inches to use its leadership and extends the range of the model's aura abilities 3 inches. It is an interesting and lore-friendly trait. Effectively though, it is only good on a Vexilla in a soup army, as it gives them a larger bubble to get more units in. Their relic, the Vexilla Dominatus, allows Imperium infantry and bikers to re-roll morale tests, and for Emissaries Imperatus to count each as 3 models for determining who controls an objective. It's not bad, but honestly, it's a middling relic at best, as there's better options in the utility department. It does however excel at helping you hold objectives. Their stratagem, called the Emperor's Hand, allows one of your units until the end of the phase to ignore any negative hit roll, wound roll, and AP modifiers and any cover saves. This is a great stratagem and is phenomenal on backline units like the Calidus or the Telemon. It can also be used on an Orion for maximal killing potential. On the whole, when evaluating the shield host, you should be taking Imperial Soup to maximise the benefits. In smaller games using patrol detachments though, this is a good choice of shield host as it allows you to hang back and hold objectives while sniping key units with your backline. Overall, I'd say mixed at best. So drawing this all together, after evaluating each shield host individually, where do they stack up against each other? The Dread Host, due to its unique delivery system and unmatched offensive capabilities, is the #1 shield host. This is proven as this is the majority of top tier competitive lists' shield host choice. The Shadow Keepers come in at 2nd place with their more situational offensive buffs and a great stratagem. The Boys in Black though remain a solid choice, whether for your local friendly game or for your next tournament list. The Solar Watch is in 3rd due to their increased mobility and board control antics. The definitely not white scars custodians could potentially increase in power as 9th edition Horde codexes get refreshed, due to their increase to threat ranges especially for Hurricane bolters. The emissaries Imperatus are in 4th place, as whilst they are good in smaller games, the majority are played at larger points limits. The Emperor's best buds are at their greatest in Imperium Soup, which at this point in 9th edition is not a great choice. As other Imperium codexes get refreshed though, look for them to rise up the ranks potentially. And finally, the Aquilon Shield are unfortunately bottom of the pack. Their redeeming feature of a great relic is not enough to overcome one of the most situational stratagems available to the Banana Boys, and a warlord trait that's currently worse than the basic ones available. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos like this, and comment below with feedback, disagreements or content requests. All are welcome. Thanks for watching. Part 3 covering stratagems is next.